Hi, I'm Kate Barrett, the founder of Shine a Light Media and the Email Marketing Academy, and welcome to today's Tuesday Email Marketing Quick Tip video. It's lovely to have you with me. Now, today I'm talking about something a little bit more technical to do with deliverability, and that's the subject that I'm diving into throughout August and giving you some fantastic tips to increase your deliverability. But today I want to talk about some of the structure behind that, and more specifically, your IP address. So when you send your email, you use a domain name and a specific IP address or set of IP addresses that your emails are sent down to those receiving email clients, such as Hotmail, Yahoo, Gmail, whoever you are sending to. Now, as they go through those IP addresses, you actually have two different ways that this can work depending on the email service provider that you're with. And there are thousands of email service providers. So MailChimp, a.Weber, Constant Contact, Red Circle Digital, Pure 360. There are literally thousands of different email service providers, and they will sort out this setup for you in terms of the IP addresses. Now, there's a whole load of other infrastructure behind the sends as well to do with your domain and IP addresses. And that includes things like SPF records, MX records, DNS records. So there's lots of other things that go behind these elements. And that's not what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about specifically the IP address or addresses that you are sending your emails down. Now, there are two ways that these can be formed. They can either be a dedicated IP address or a shared IP address. Now, with a dedicated IP address, it's only you sending from that IP address or set of IP addresses. Okay, they are dedicated to you. Now, with shared IP addresses, that isn't the case. You are sharing your IP address with other senders. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing to be sharing or to have it completely dedicated. So let's look at some of the benefits and negatives of each one. Let's start with shared IP addresses. Now, the reason that you would be put onto shared IP addresses is mainly to do with your volume. If you're sending less than around 40,000 emails a week, chances are you're going to be on shared IP addresses, because under that level, you don't have enough volume going through your IP address to produce what's called a sender reputation. So your sender reputation is like your online credit score. It tells Hotmail, Yahoo, Gmail, AOL, that receiving email client, who you are and how good you are as a sender, whether or not they can trust you. So sender reputation is one of the key elements that is going to affect your deliverability, either positive or negatively. Okay, so there are lots of elements that are built up to make that sender reputation, but volume is one of them. And with shared IP addresses, you're pooling your volume with other senders to get you to that required volume to produce a sender reputation, which is needed for good deliverability. So that's one of the benefits of shared IP addresses. You're effectively pooling your resources. Now, a negative of shared IP addresses is exactly that you're pooling with everybody else and you're sharing that reputation. So if somebody else on that pool of IPs, and you won't know who they are, so if you're using MailChimp, a.Weber, Constant Contact, Infusionsoft to some extent as well, if you're on shared IPs with any of those providers or the email service provider that you are using, you do not have control over who else is sharing those IPs with you. Okay, it's done randomly. Companies like MailChimp will usually try and group very similar senders together, I believe, on their shared IPs. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not a choice that you can make, particularly with systems like MailChimp and a.Weber. You cannot make a choice on this most of the time. Now, as I said, once you get to being a higher volume sender, then you get the choice. Then you can choose to move over to dedicated IP addresses. Now, the benefit of this is that you have total control over your sender reputation. No one else is sending anything down that IP address that could damage your deliverability. But again, on the flip side of the coin, that's the negative as well. You have to manage that deliverability. You have to manage everything that comes under the umbrella of sender reputation. So this is all to do with your list quality, the engagement with your email campaigns, the technical infrastructure setup of your emails. You have complete complete control over that. So that's a positive and a negative from the side of dedicated IPs. So that's the difference between the two of them. It really comes down to send volume to begin with. That is the absolute key to it. So if you're sending under 40,000, you're going to be on shared IPs. Over 40,000 emails a week, you're going to want to be on dedicated IPs and build your own reputation. So the difference here is really about the control that you have over that sender reputation, what's being sent over your IPs, the data quality, the engagement of those emails, all of those technical sending infrastructure elements. With shared IPs, you have no control over that. With dedicated IPs, you do. So with dedicated IPs, you have a lot more control over your deliverability because you can change all of those elements. With shared IPs, you have less control. So with shared IPs, the key things that you can do are to ensure your list quality, that you're gathering data organically, getting that opt-in, that you're providing relevant, interesting information, you're setting expectations at the point of sign up as to what they're going to receive, when they're going to receive it. You're with a reputable email service provider that has that technical infrastructure set up for you on the back end perfectly. Use minimal spam words. Spam words aren't banned anymore, but particularly if you don't have control over your sender reputation, just keep spam words to a minimum. And the same with images. You want to have a minimum of 70-30 in favor of text. So 70% text to 30% images minimum, and keep your call to action, your main call to action and messages in the body of the text. Now, those are great tips if you're using dedicated IPs as well, but with dedicated IPs, you can really start to drill down further into all of those individual aspects of your deliverability. So that's a much bigger task, and that's something that I absolutely love doing. So if you are on dedicated IPs and you need some help figuring out why your deliverability is low or dropping, then just drop me a message to kate@shinerlightmedia.com and we'll chat, and I can definitely help you there. But deliverability is a very, very big subject, so I'm not going to be able to cover it all in this video, but I wanted to give you those few little tips and explain the differences between shared and dedicated IPs. I always think that it's better to understand these elements and exactly what you're using and what you're doing than to be in the dark and not know when you get to that level that you have other choices that you can make as well. So that's it for today's Tuesday email marketing quick tip video. Do let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. And if you are on Periscope, I have joined and I have done my first Periscope. So I would love to see you over there. I'm, sort of planning to jump on a couple of times a week from now on and give you even more fantastic tips. So follow me at Shine a Light Medi. So Shine a Light Media, knock the A off of the end. And that's where you will find me on either Twitter or Periscope. So until next week, I will see you over on Periscope for more live video streaming, and next Tuesday for another Tuesday email marketing quick tip video.